Hi everyone, welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie and today we are on day 37. I am so glad you're here and I welcome you to this channel. Today we're going to be reading out of Genesis 37 and then Job 10 and then Luke chapter 18, but we're only reading verses 1 through 17 today, and then we'll close out the day with Psalm 28. So let's see what Genesis 37 is about. Here we go. Jacob lived in the land of his father's travels, in the land of Canaan. This is the history of the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brothers. He was a boy with the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives. Joseph brought an evil report to them to their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a tunic of many colors. His brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his other brothers, and they hated him and couldn't speak peaceably to him. Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brothers, and they hated him all the more. He said to them, "Please hear this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and behold, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves came around and bowed down to my sheaf." His brother asked him, "Will you indeed reign over us? Will you indeed have dominion over us?" They hated him all the more for his dreams and for his words. He dreamed yet another dream and told it to his brothers and said, "Behold, I have dreamed yet another dream. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars bowed down to me." He told it to his father and to his brothers. His father rebuked him and said to him, "What is this dream that you have dreamed? Will I and your mother and your brothers indeed come to bow ourselves down to the earth before you?" His brothers envied him, but his father kept this saying in his mind. His brothers went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. Israel said to Joseph, "Aren't your brothers feeding the flock in Shechem? Come, I will send you to them." He said to him, "Here I am." He said to him, "Go now, see whether it is well with your brothers and well with the flock, and bring me word again." So he went to him out of the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. A certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. The man asked him, "What are you looking for?" He said, "I'm looking for my brothers. Tell me, please, where they are feeding the flock." The man said, "They have left here, for I heard them say, 'Let's go to Dothan.'" Joseph went after his brothers and found them in Dothan. They saw him afar off, and before he came near to them, they conspired against him to kill him. They said to one another, "Behold, this dreamer comes. Come now, therefore, and let's kill him, and let's cast him into the pits, and we will say, 'An evil animal has devoured him.' We will see what will become of his dreams." Reuben heard it and delivered him out of their hand and said, "Let's not take his life." Reuben said to them, "Shed no blood. Throw him into the pit that is in the wilderness, but lay no hand on him, that he might deliver him out of their hand to restore him to his father." When Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped Joseph of his tunic, the tunic of many colors that was on him. And they took him and threw him into the pit. The pit was empty. There was no water in it. They sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and saw a caravan of Ishmaelites was coming from Gilead with their camels, bearing spices and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, "What profit is it if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites, and not let our hand be on him, for he is our brother, our flesh." His brothers listened to him. Midianites who were merchants passed by, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. The merchants brought Joseph into Egypt. Reuben returned to the pit and saw that Joseph wasn't in the pit and tore his clothes. He returned to his brothers and said, "The child is no more, and where will I go?" They took Joseph's tunic and killed a male goat and dipped the tunic in the blood. They took the tunic of many colors and they brought it to their father and said, "We have found this. Examine it and see if it is your son's tunic or not." He recognized it and said, "It is my son's tunic. An evil animal has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt torn in pieces." Jacob tore his clothes and put sackcloth on his waist and mourned for his son many days. All his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. He said, "For I will go down to Sheol to my son mourning." His father wept for him. The Midianites sold him into Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, the captain of the guard. Family drama. All right, moving on to Job 10. And just as a reminder, family drama has been going on a very, very long time. So eventually one day we'll get it right, folks. I don't know. I'm hopeful. Job chapter 10. My soul is weary of my life. I will give free course to my complaint. I will speak in the bitterness of my soul. I will tell God, "Do not condemn me. Show me why you contend with me. Is it good to you that you should oppress, that you should despise the work of your hands and smile on the counsel of the wicked? Do you have eyes of flesh, or do you see as man sees? Are your days as days of mortals, or your years as man's years? That you inquire after my iniquity and search after my sin. Although you know that I am not wicked, there is no one who can deliver out of your hand. Your hands have framed me and fashioned me all together, yet you destroy me. Remember, I beg you, that you have fashioned me as clay. Will you bring me into dust again? Haven't you poured me out like milk and curdled me like cheese? You have clothed me with skin and flesh and knit me together with bones and sinews. You have granted me life and loving kindness. Your visitation has preserved my spirit. Yet you hid these things in your heart. I know that this is with you. If I sin, then you mark me. You will not acquit me of my iniquity. If I am wicked, woe to me. If I am righteous, I still will not lift up my head, being filled with disgrace and conscious of my affliction. If my head is held high, you hunt me like a lion. Again, you show yourself powerful to me. You renew your witness against me and increase your indignation against me. Changes and warfare are with me. Why then have you brought me out of the womb? I wish I had given up the spirit, and no eye had seen me. I should have been as though I had not been. I should have been carried from the womb to the grave. Aren't my days few? Stop! Leave me alone, that I may find a little comfort before I go where I will not return from, to the land of darkness and of the shadow of death, the land dark as midnight, of the shadow of death, without any order, where the light is as midnight. All right, let's move on to Luke 18, 1 through 17. Job is just enveloped in despair. It's hard to read. Only because I've been there and I get it. It's hard to read through it. So Luke chapter 18, 1 through 17. Jesus also spoke a parable to them, that they must always pray and not give up, saying, there was a judge in a certain city who didn't fear God and didn't respect man. A widow was in the city, and she often came to him, saying, defend me from my adversary. He wouldn't for a while, but afterward he said to himself, though I neither fear God nor respect man, yet because this widow bothers me, I will defend her, or else she will wear me out by her continually coming. The Lord said, listen to what the unrighteous judge says. Won't God avenge his chosen ones who are crying out to him day and night, and yet he exercises patience with them? I tell you that he will avenge them quickly. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? He also spoke this parable to certain people who were convinced of their own righteousness and who despised all others. 2 men went up into the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee, and the other was a tax collector. The Pharisee stood and prayed by himself like this: God, I thank you that I am not like the rest of men, extortionists, unrighteous, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give tithes of all that I get. But the tax collector, standing far away, wouldn't even lift his eyes to heaven, but beat his breast, saying, God, be merciful to me, a sinner. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, but he who humbles himself will be exalted. They were also bringing their babies to him, that he might touch them. But when the disciples saw it, they rebuked them. Jesus summoned them, saying, allow the little children to come to me, and don't hinder them, for God's kingdom belongs to such as these. Most certainly, I tell you, whoever doesn't receive God's kingdom like a little child, he will in no way enter into it. Now this one I do need to comment on, because I've heard through Sunday schools and churches and such, I feel that when he says, like these little children are incredibly dependent on their father or the adult in the room. They are absolutely dependent. They are, for the most part, innocent to the politics of the world. They are innocent to most of the evil in the world. And they just have their eyes on the adult in the room. I think that's what he's talking about. I think what he's talking about is that if you want to enter the kingdom of heaven, I need you in relationship with me. I need to be the adult in the room. I need you to hold on to me like a little child. He's not talking about works. He's not talking about the level of faith. He's not, he's describing this little child being dependent. I think that's what that means. If you agree or disagree, feel free to write it in the comments. I'd love to hear what other people are thinking. Sometimes I just stare into this camera, and I would love to know what everybody else is thinking. So Psalm 28, and this is by David. To you, Yahweh, I call, my rock, don't be deaf to me. Lest if you are silent to me, I would become like those who go down into the pit. Hear the voice of my petitions when I cry to you, when I lift up my hands towards your most holy place. Don't draw me away with the wicked, with the workers of iniquity who speak peace with their neighbors, but mischief is in their hearts. Give them according to their work and according to the wickedness of their doings. Give them according to the operation of their hands. Bring back on them what they deserve, because they don't respect the works of Yahweh, nor the operation of his hands. He will break them down and not build them up. Blessed be Yahweh, because he has heard the voice of my petitions. Yahweh is my strength and my shield. My heart has trusted in him, and I am helped. Therefore, my heart greatly rejoices. With my song, I will thank him. Yahweh is their strength. He is a stronghold of salvation to his anointed. Save your people and bless your inheritance. Be their shepherd also, and bear them up forever. Oh my goodness, guys. That was kind of a heavy one today, but a very good reminder that we need to stay in relationship with God, with Jesus. It's what he asked for. It's pretty simple on most days. So anyways, with that, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you can hold on to the words that you've just heard today. If you are in despair, like Job, I know it can feel very, very lonely. I know it can feel like you're the only one who has ever had this much of a burden placed on your shoulders. Take heart, because there are many out there who are heavily burdened, and they are praying to God, Job's prayer. And this prayer from Job was a long time ago. These burdens have been on people's shoulders for generations. You are not alone. And please just hold on and stay in relationship with him. He hears you, and just stay close to him. All right? All right. Have a good day, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow.